Alright, this is part 2 of the same day of me riding Rhett. So I'm just going to have him walk forward again and still going to be working on those trot and canter transitions. So have him walk, make sure he's settled there, and then we'll move on from there. Gonna make sure he's good at the walk. I'm gonna have him change direction. Looks pretty relaxed. Then I'm going to ask him for trot. There we go. Again, he's got a really short stride. He's kind of preparing for canter here. See, still thinking about cantering. I want him to just go forward and trot. And then I think I was like, that was better. So he had a couple better strides, but still not exactly what I want. The other problem with this is that I was really wanting him to go a little bit slower, but I think that was really unrealistic for him, like just being the horse that he was. And that if I want him to move out and move forward, like I need to go faster. So I think that was another part of it. Not a quarter horse, not going to give you that slow jog. So I needed to just be a little bit more realistic about that too. Okay, I'm going to have him go forward after he stands still. Nice relaxed walk. Good trot transition. This looks like a much better trot. Oh, and then we're thinking about cantering over here again. And then actually does a couple of strides. This is our trot that we need. That's a much better trot. That faster, like him actually trotting, that looks much better. And then I've got that nice trot, and then I think I asked for the canter there. So he can do those nice actual get into trot, and then he can go into canter. Because he went from that like little baby trot, or even like where he's trying to go into trot, or into canter from almost like from a walk. It's going to be a lot more difficult for him. So it's going to be a lot easier once he's really pushing forward from that trot, and not that like little jog that he does, or that little half trot, half canter thing. And then I do like how he stands still after he's done even just a little bit of canter, and then he can go back into the walk. Good trot transition. That was nice. So that was actually a good move there because we had just done a tiny bit of canter and then he went into just the trot. So I do want to reinforce that. He was just going into trot. If I was doing this more correctly and reinforcing that standstill, then it would have been a lot better. But that was really good because he didn't immediately think about cantering, and I didn't really give him the opportunity to. So I didn't let him just trot on and on and on, and then he starts thinking about cantering because that's just the thing he just did. So instead, I saw that he was doing the trot correctly and then reinforced it. So go ahead and go the other way. Again, a nice walk. Probably could have a more forward walk, kind of push him a little bit out of this. Because he can still be relaxed while he's going a little bit more forward. Decent trot, not thinking about cantering, so I'm going to reinforce that as well. See him rock back, and then he goes forward. Which I really don't mind. That's why I left it that way, because it was kind of cool. Getting in towards trot, kind of just a little jog. But he's doing it nicely. Like, he has a nice loose rein. It looks good. I like that he sped up there, so I'm reinforcing that. And again, I think I've reinforced one downward transition. Everything else was forward, so I'm kind of creating my own problem here. I mean, he's doing what I want. Like, he's going into trot, he's going into canter nicely, but I'm like, well, he's too forward. He's anticipating the transitions, but then it's like, it's my fault because that's all I've been reinforcing. So that would have helped me the most. Because at the time, I think what I thought was, okay, well, if he stands still and relaxes for a long time, that will also be reinforcing. But you see, like he stands for many minutes at a time, but I'm not reinforcing it with food. So he's finding the food more reinforcing, and obviously the going forward more reinforcing, there you guys go some decanter, than standing still. So depending on the horse, that might be different, but especially for him, going forward is reinforcing. There's a really nice canter transition. And then it kind of goes a little too much, and he kind of falls out of it because it is really hard for him to maintain, especially like the way he's doing it, really slow like that. So then he kind of gets all out of balance and he goes faster, and I kind of bend him to a stop. So that definitely happens with him. He's an older off the track thoroughbred. He definitely needs muscling and a better top line and stuff like that. But that is a very common thing that you see, especially at canter, is they get imbalanced and then they get faster. So that is important to note. But he comes right back. I just kind of pick up on a rein. He bends down to a stop, and then we kind of relax and then try again. Get into our trot transition. Better trot, more forward trot. I like that. And then really nice canter strides. That was beautiful. That was really, really good. And at that point, like we're doing like 3 canter strides, but that's what we've built up to so far. And then I would just keep going from there. So 5, 6, 7, whatever, half the round pen, the whole round pen, and then moving on to the arena. That's really the goal there. And he's only going to be able to do a few strides too, because it's physically demanding, so and mentally demanding. So that looks really nice, and he stands still really well afterwards. So I'm very happy with that specific transition. So now back into walk. Kind of wonky transition. He's kind of thinking about maybe going into a canter. Got to push him into that trot. Kind of a weird trot. Probably shouldn't have reinforced that one. So then he stood for a while, then we just kind of walked around. So really, like if I could go back and do this again, I would have had like ended after that last canter transition that was really nice. Had him stand still, reinforce him for staying still, maybe let him walk around a little bit, and then possibly reinforce him for walking, but definitely for staying still, and then ended the lesson. I did have him do that trot, and then I thought it was a little weird, but I think what I was reinforcing was him just trotting, like me asking for trot and him just trotting instead of going into canter. I'm pretty sure that's what I was reinforcing there. And so he did do that and then could walk afterwards. So